Howdy, Pastor Mark Driscoll here with my best friend 28 years running, my wife Grace. And we have a big announcement, at least it's big for us and for our family. We have moved to Phoenix. We love it here, healing up, making new friends, and excited about this city and the future that God would have us to play in serving the people here, along with some other great churches in the valley. And so, Lord willing, we're hoping, trusting, praying, planning, and also a little bit worrying about planning a church here in early 2016. We moved to the valley, what month was it? July, hottest month of the year, not the most strategic plan.
Our whole family drove down here, and it was 116 degrees at 11 o'clock at night, and we're like, what is this? This is not, it's dark out. Why is it this hot? This should not be possible.
You know, we went around to see different churches just because we wanted to understand the churches in the valley and see what God was already doing. Finally, the kids just said, hey, we want you to plant a church and we want to hear your preaching again. And so we took that very seriously because coming from teenage kids, that's a big deal.
It just so happened right off the 101 that we saw the Trinity Church, and we stopped by, we walked around it, scouted it out, and then we stopped and we laid hands over it and we prayed over it, and God told me that this was going to be our church.
Well, howdy, Pastor Mark Driscoll here at the Trinity Church in Scottsdale, Arizona, gearing up for our public launch. We're about 4 weeks away launching, and if I'm a little sweaty, it's because we've been working really, really hard.
I had gotten news that Pastor Mark had opened up the Trinity Church and it was starting with work teams. And so I showed up with some tools and some shovels, and we just started knocking down walls and ripping up carpet.
Taking out trash that had been there for 30, 40, 50 years, and just working on something, building something as a family and with our new community.
It definitely did not look the way that it looks today. There was a lot of work to be done.
There was that awesome blue dome, you know, that cast a Smurf light all over everything.
Yeah, I recall us all standing around in a big circle praying. And I just felt at that time like, wow, God is really gonna build an outpost for his kingdom.
We all prayed together, and then we all signed the floor, actually, the concrete underneath all the carpet. So that was pretty cool.
All right, here we go. You ready? Big vision for the Trinity Church. First thing, flexibility. Everything is subject to change. Let me just say that.
In the very beginning, there was no audio in there. We would just do Bible studies out front with about 20, 30 people.
As soon as I started hearing the message about the love of God, specifically the Father love of God, my heart, was immediately captured.
Seeing people who have never been through a book of the Bible really learn to go through a book of the Bible and then enjoy that and then start to build momentum in their own study. As a Bible teacher, that's the best thing in the world.
When I moved to Arizona, when Michael and I got married, I already had a family here in Arizona. I never felt like I was leaving home. I felt kind of like I was coming home.
When the church first opened up back after COVID in June of 2020, it was packed and it was alive. The worship was unbelievable. It was like Christ Church had been released.
Well, Merry Christmas! In July, we're bringing in 50,000 pounds of snow. Why? Because we can.
We're all in and serving, and our children have also gotten involved as well. We love the journey that we get to share with our kids and ourselves along with Jesus.
Being able to serve has definitely, been impactful on me to where I enjoy seeing how God's moving, and I get to do that from a place of service. Getting that fulfillment only comes from God.
We've changed so many things, and we've just started so many life groups and ministries and seen so many people baptized and married and meeting the Lord and dedicating their kids to the Lord and raising their kids in the church. It's so exciting to see, and that the Lord is blessing what we're doing here.
God showed up all along the way. We saw him show up through the building, through getting and praying for it, through God bringing people, through money, financial provision. Just over and over and over we saw God show up.
The church is very strong, very healthy, moving very, very, very quickly, but there's still that strong sense of church family. A lot of people have asked, how did all this happen? And it's very, very simple. God showed up.
Yeah, he did.
He showed up to plant the idea. He showed up to plant the church. He showed up to build it and grow it and mature it. And I'm really excited to see what he has next for us.
My absolute favorite is baptisms. I know so many people say it, but there's nothing like it.
I think how God has showed up, it's in our children. Our children are going to be bearing fruit for the gospel, I hope for generations to come.
When you're at the Trinity Church, you're part of an amazing community of people that open their Bibles to learn, and it's such a bigger impact than we can even see just here in Scottsdale.
I've just seen God working in that church, and you just feel the presence of God there. And that's what you see when you're at Trinity.